Bonjour, mes amis. Welcome to this week's third draft of the weekly Monday video. Let's get started before somebody wakes up. The first two drafts were ruined by my drunken mother, so that's always fun. Our first question is actually more of a comment. It's on my original post asking for Monday video questions. It's from Liram Vivaldi asking me, don't I run out of questions? And saying that she thinks that she could only do monthly ones. My answer to that is that I will, and I realize it wasn't like a question, but my answer to that is that I will keep doing these videos as long as you guys keep asking questions. On the day that everybody runs dry of questions, I'll stop doing these videos or start coming up with topics to do my own, but this really gives me something to look forward to throughout the week, so I doubt that I'll stop doing these. Next question, we're going to go with the ones in my text messages from Dimmick RP, Dana. She's fantastic. Dimmick is the most adorable little fluff ball on the face of the planet. He and Val have a very, very slow burn relationship going. What is Val's favorite part of having Dimmick as a flatmate? Aside from the cuddles, it's definitely that Dimmick likes to help in the kitchen. Balthazar really respects a guy who likes to cook because he loves to cook. And so he really loves Dimmick's, just his love of food. He really adores that about him. I don't think he's ever really had anybody who cared as much about food as him. Gabriel certainly cares about food, but only in as much as, is it sweet and can I eat it? Cass doesn't seem to give much of a fuck about food at all. Samandriel is slowly learning as Balthazar teaches him. Sarah loves food, but Sarah loves coffee more, I think. And Dimmick really gets in the kitchen and helps, and that just really makes Val happy. He loves that. What is David's about Ryan Ella? David loves that Ryan is like his playmate / brother. He loves that he has a friend and someone to play with, and someone to love on, and someone who's just as puzzled by him as he is by what the adults are up to. As for Ella, he's really not sure what to make of her because she's so small, and he's like, you're very loud, and I'm not supposed to touch you. Because he's toddler size, so he doesn't know how to control his fine motor skills yet, and Val's very, very paranoid about him accidentally bumping Ella too hard. So David's allowed to gently hug, but they don't really play with Ella yet. That's my headcanon. He's very puzzled by her. In any verse, if David were to become a younger brother, how would he react / adjust? I feel like David would do really, really well as a younger brother. I feel like he would just kind of be like Balthazar was when he was little. To be like, love me because I love you, and follow his older siblings around, and just kind of irritate the shit out of them, like following after them and getting into trouble with them, and just like loving on them. And yes. And she says, finally, how stoked are you for Catterday, gorgeous? Catterday! I'm so stoked. On Catterday, we are going to go to the zoo together. Yay! And I'm going to bring my daughter Rosie and then hang out and watch movies. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be totally bitchin'. I'm like super, 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 super stoked. And then she says, if this question isn't too late, does David ever get possessive with Val? Or is he pretty good at sharing with siblings and with Papa's lovers? Plural because multiverse. Siblings meaning Rye, Ella, Aisling, etc. He shares really well with children, because he doesn't view other children as like a threat or anything. With Ryan, he's like, let's both go, Bubba and Papa. And with Ella, he's like, I don't know, you can't even walk yet. I guess you should probably, be holding you because you can't even walk. So, yeah, you stay where Papa can hold you and feed you, okay? Pat, pat. He's like, I don't know. You're very little. Papa should hold you. Yes. He's totally cool with that. But when it comes to, adults, if he doesn't know them very well, he's gonna crawl into Val's lap and just, kind of, mildly glare at them. Just be like, this is my Papa. You know that, right? He's my Papa. So, yeah, he doesn't mind children very much. He shares very well with Aisling because even though Sarah got Aisling a little bit after Balth got David, Aisling, by virtue of being an archangel child, is growing much, much faster. So she's much older than him currently, and he just basically assumed, well, she was here first. She's older than him, so he doesn't really. He's like, okay. But yeah, he's pretty good about sharing with other children. It's the adults that he's like, I don't trust you. Okay. All right. And then I have a couple questions here from Emma, who is an Ounce of Loyalty. Guy's fantastic, and if you're not following Emma, you need to. Shit. Sorry about that, Bob. When I should have weaved. There's some flaily typing, and it says, "Oh man, bring. Your house has suddenly made a mini donuts. What do?" And the "what do" is in all caps. You should know that right now. Panic, because the structural integrity of mini donuts is not a good one, and this is my only shelter from the outside elements. Panic. I would panic. It would be all the freaking panic there. And then she actually Skyped me another one, and she says, "What is the weirdest thing you've ever imagined doing together with Val?" Taking a platonic bubble bath and bitching about our lives. Mainly because I was taking a bubble bath, and he just like popped in and was like, "Excuse me, let me tell you some things that I'm pissed off about today." I was like, "Oh, did you bring the scotch? Get in the bathtub, let's hang out, buddy." And then I realized that I was talking to myself, and that is a sign of insanity. Don't worry, I have a therapy appointment. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the questions that are in my inbox. We're going to start with the first person who was in my inbox, which would be my sister, Chrissy. Hi, Chrissy. It's morning time and I don't like it because the coffee's not working fast enough. I have leftover flat soda from last night, not coffee. I don't like this. And she's asking from her Angelic Muse blog, which is Sarah, the glitteriest, sparkliest, most fantastic archangel in the entire garrison. Yeah, that's right, Gabe. Who said the most fantastic? That's right, Lucifer. She's the prettiest, too. He's the prettiest, too. Wait, is your MA over? Are you back to being a boy again, Sarah? I don't know. I have a bad sense of time when it comes to MAs. Do you and Balth have a favorite scent of perfume/lotion/soap? Pick one or all. If so, what is it? Roses, actually. We're very, very fond of rose scented things, but not the fake rose scented things, if that makes any form of sense. We prefer the old fashioned kind of dusty, slightly sweet scent of roses, as opposed to today's more chemically super sweet scents of roses. If you could meet anyone in the world, dead or alive, it's creepy, and spend the day with them, who would it be and why? Maybe Errol Flynn, because he's a stone cold fox. Or H.G. Wells, because H.G. Wells was really bitchin', and some of the first books that I read that made me love books were his books. So probably H.G. Wells. Anyone in the world, though. You, Chrissy. Thoughts on crepes. Crepes are amazing. I can't make them because I can't flip them, and it drives me insane. It's the same reason why I don't make omelets, because I'm not very good at flipping things other than pancakes and French toast. But I love crepes so much. Val loves crepes so much. I mean, it's like a foldable, rollable plate that you can put stuff in. It's fantastic. There's a crepe shop at the mall in downtown San Diego. I used to work right across the street from it. They actually gave me a punch card because I was there so frequently. They were like, buy 5 get 1 free. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So starting today's Monday. Oh, so next Monday I'm gonna get 1 free. And they were like, all right, I guess if you're into that. And so, they put bananas, like bits of banana, Nutella, peanut butter, and chocolate syrup in a crepe for me, and dusted the outside with powdered sugar. And then I came. I'm just saying, it's fantastic. That concludes our questions. Thank you, sis. Those are awesome questions. Then we have some questions from Silenced Archangel, who is in fact made of awesome sauce. She says she meant to send these last week, but she fell asleep. Oh, that's okay. I don't mind. You're still sending them in. Thank you. I appreciate that. What is your favorite landmark in the world? Example, Hollywood sign, Big Ben, Empire State Building, etc. That's a really good question. I kind of want to say unconventional, and I in no way support whatever the fuck happened with the Korean War, but the Korean War Monument. The first time I saw it, for those of you who don't know or are not in the United States, the Korean War Monument is bronze soldiers walking across simulated rice paddies. It's in Washington, D.C. It is our memorial for those who died during the Korean conflict. It's not quite as well known as the Vietnam War Memorial, which is the wall with the names. The Korean War Monument also has a wall with faces and pictures. We actually found a picture of my grandfather on it, which is creepy as balls. I'm serious. Like, we have a photograph somewhere of my granddad standing next to the wall for the Korean War Monument, and next to the picture of like him, and like him standing next to it, and like people were freaking out and taking pictures. And he's like, I remember some reporter coming around and taking pictures, but I don't know. Thanks, Granddad. Thanks for paying attention to things. Appreciate that. He's like, well, had a new magazine with beauties. I'm like, that's an app. I'm good. No, I'm just kidding. But I really do. We do have the picture of him standing next to the wall, which is it's pretty fucking cool. Anyways, the portion of the monument that I love the best is the soldiers going through the rice paddies, because the first time I saw it, it was fairly early in the morning, and like the mist was still kind of rising off the ground, so it looked extremely just ethereal and striking, very striking, and it's just something that's kind of always stayed with me. I don't suppose that's a landmark, though. Big Ben. Big Ben's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. Pyramids of Giza, the Sphinx. If Balthazar had one wish, what would it be? To have not left the Fledges behind, because he feels like crap for it. And he feels like he could have averted so many things if he had just stayed. One OTP that you have from any fandom that you would kill to make canon, just one. Cue evil laugh. Fun fact, my 5-year-old practices her evil laugh. I don't know that I would actually necessarily kill to make anything canon. I don't know. Balthazar is essentially canon, considering the fact that Misha and Balthazar, or Misha and Seb have both said stuff about it. Especially Misha. Balthazar plays the angel that took Cass's virginity. Thank you. Okay. I don't know. That's a really good question. I'd love to see some, like, Balthazar. Like, Crowley and Balth. That would be an interesting thing. Like, the only reason that Balth is still alive is because Crowley hid him in the mansion. Like, Hell Manor, or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. And I can't even say, like, McSpurk. That's, Kirk, McCoy, and Spock. Almost said something else. Wow. Because that's an OT3. And I just can't OTP them without feeling that I'm leaving someone out. It's a really good question. Oh. Mitchifer, Michael and Lucifer. I would love it if we had some canon, just like, he was my boyfriend and I loved him. Yeah, that's what was going on. That's what was going on. I don't know. John Locke. Oh, yes, because I've been waiting for that since I was a child. If you read the original Sherlock Holmes books and you take a look at the language that's used in relation to Victorian times, those novels were practically torrid. I mean, like, wow. There's a lot of, like, quiet emotion between the two of them, and as a child I was just waiting for them to, like, be, like, boyfriends. Like, I'm talking, like, 8 years old reading this book, I'm like, they're boyfriends. They're dating. And then John went and got married, and I was like, What? No. What? Oh, poor Sherlock. Oh, yeah. So, if Balthazar had the chance to be forgiven for one of his sins, which would he choose? Leaving the fledglings behind. It's not a sin either. He doesn't care. His sins are his sins, and he's totally cool with that because he loves sinning. It's fun. He says it tingles. Make of that what you will. What type of cheese does Balthazar like? All cheese. He loves cheese, but he likes brie the best because it spreads very nicely on a variety of substances. Brie on crackers, brie on toast, brie on apple slices, brie on carrots. He doesn't really care. He likes brie a lot. Which, incidentally, brie is one of the types of cheeses that I cannot eat because I'm mildly lactose intolerant, and brie upsets my stomach so bad. How did you acquire your awesome writing skills? Sold my soul to Satan. No, I'm just kidding. That's not what I sold my soul to, and I certainly didn't sell it to Satan. I read a lot, like a lot. Like, my first influences as a child were classics. Somebody once asked me in the 3rd grade what I thought of JTT. Now, I did not know at the time who he was, and I said, "You mean J.R.R. Tolkien?" And she said, "Who's that?" And I said, he wrote The Hobbit. And she said, I'm talking about Jonathan Taylor Thomas. He's on, what the fuck is the name of that show? Tim the Toolman Taylor, whatever the fuck it was, Home Improvement, something, I don't know. And in that moment, the dichotomy of my life was born. Like, seriously, that was when I realized that I don't like the same stuff that normal kids like, I guess, because everybody in my class knew who JTT was, and I had no fucking clue. And I thought she was a moron for never having read The Hobbit, and she thought that I was a moron for never having watched the show. So, yeah, like that's pretty much how young that started. I was in the 3rd grade when I picked up The Hobbit for the first time because my mom handed it to me. I was home with a really bad flu, and she goes, "Read it." No, it wasn't the flu. It was a bronchitis. So I was like home and just like coughing in bed. We had an old TV at that point in time where you had to twist the dial to turn the channel, and you only got 1 to 13. So I watched a lot of Nova and a lot of old British movies that were on PBS at that point in time because 1 was static, 2 was static, 3 was ESPN, 4 was crappy daytime TV, 5 was crappy daytime TV, 6, 7, 8, 9 was like telenovelas. I had zero interest in that as a child. 10 was crappy daytime TV. 11 started out as really cool stuff like Bill Nye. Excuse me, my apologies. So, I mean, I started very young on books with classic writers. I mean, like classic writers. H.G. Wells, one of the first authors I ever read. I read a lot of Jules Verne growing up, a lot of Poe, a lot of Shakespeare. I owned a copy of Shakespeare's collected works by the time that I was, I want to say 11. So I read voraciously, and I had my own thesaurus and my own dictionary, and I genuinely loved, and they still do love, thumbing through my thesaurus. Like, you guys laugh when I say that I have a thesaurus that is so well thumbed that the pages are all soft and the spine's cracked. Like, because I'm constantly, wait a minute, there's a better word for that. There's a better word for that. And I have a dictionary, like, we had a dictionary that actually fell to tatters when I was a child because I was looking up so many words. So I just had a lot of really good influences at a very young age. Like, a lot of people read R.L. Stine. I could never really get into R.L. Stine because it was not as frightening as Poe. I mean, I was a voracious reader with just an unquenchable thirst for the next story. I still am. I still remain to this day just a voracious reader, and I finish books rapidly, amazingly fast. I would honestly have to say that if you're asking how my writing skills became the way that they are, it's probably the good influences I had as a child. Sorry if you've been asking me these before and they're a bit random. Oh well, smiley face. No, actually I haven't. Good questions, thank you. Okay. And now we are moving on to Winter Davenport, who is awesome, glorious, fantastic, Bunny. Bunny asks the important questions. She says, Happy Monday. All caps. Great. I have a mighty need to know about Pirate Mouth. You should totally tell us about him because you can't just mention Pirate Mouth and leave it at that. Not sure if that's an actual question, but whatever. Needs to happen. Pirate Mouth was, he was just very, very dashing. And he never killed any, he never deliberately just I'm gonna kill you for being there and breathing. Anybody whose ship he captured, if you were killed in the process of the capture, then that's your own problem. He told you to throw down your arms. It's not his fault that you're an idiot and can't listen to him. But he was very well known to keeping to the code of there will be no rape on my vessel, there will be no forcing of women against their wills, there will be no coercion. Our prisoners are human beings and they will be treated in that manner. And he was also very, very well known to lay in wait along a trade route and knock over ships that had silk. He probably had the best dressed crew out there. He had an earring, very, very dashing sort of guy. I mean, absolutely gentleman rogue. He's just a scoundrel. Yeah, no, one day maybe I'll do a thread about Pirate Mouth because he's fantastic. Fantastic version of Muse. Next, favorite pastry item ever and why? Croissants. They are very just soft and fluffy and buttery, and they remind me of home because it's one of the first things I learned to bake was croissants. 7 favorite main characters, good or evil, whatever media you'd like. Okay, that's a really good question, and you're terrible for asking me this because I hate main characters as a general rule. Ellen Ripley, Sarah Connor, Royce from Predators, because he's Royce. I'm Royce, he said in his Batman voice. I can't. I'm Royce. Yes, this is fantastic. I'm going to count Magneto as a main character from X-Men First Class. I love Magneto. Magneto's awesome. Tom from My Bloody Valentine. Yeah. Alright. Yes. He is a terrible person. It's nice, though. I grew up on the original My Bloody Valentine from the 80s. I think it's 87 it came out. Oh, man. That movie is amazing. And then the second one in 3D. I was like, it's in 3D. Why am I watching this? Oh, Ackles, the things I do for you. Yeah, no, it's a really good movie. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's fantastic. If you get a chance to, you should absolutely watch Devour as well. 2 more. God, most of my favorite characters aren't main characters. Snape, Malfoy, Lucius Malfoy, not Draco Malfoy. Nobody gives a shit about Draco. It's all about Lucius. Attractive bastard. Anywho, sorry, as I ramble. See, I didn't even really like Sarah from The Labyrinth, and that's one of my favorite movies. I like The Goblin King. I was rooting for Jareth when I was a kid. It's like, yeah, keep the baby, yeah. It's really hard. Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park 2. That's 6. Now I need one more. Oh, hi, Pumpkin. Hi. Mommy's doing her video. Come here, you want to say hi? Briefly? Hi. Snuggle Muffin took a header yesterday and split her lip open. Yeah. You were riding your scooter, huh? Yeah. Poor puppy. You're okay. Can you sit down and watch some TV quietly while Mommy finishes this up? Nope. Okay. So hopefully the volume of the TV doesn't affect this very much. Last main character. This is really hard. Just realized that I'm not very centered in the screen. Oh, that's really tough. Lon Chaney is Wolfman. You're welcome. Can I please what? No, you got yourself all covered right there. You're okay. You got it. Okay. She doesn't let you watch Curious George? Why doesn't she let you watch Curious George? Okay, well you can watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Quiet. Seventh main character. Oh, it's really hard. I'm looking at like the shelf of movies behind us. Indiana Jones. Yeah. If you were a flower, what would you be and why? Oleander. Lovely to look at, beautiful to behold, but if you ingest it, you'll never get old. Or poppies, because poppies are both the base of a drug and my birth flower. Can't have opium without poppies, and Val has informed me that he was very fond of opium, which was stupid, anyways. Because he gets all like sleepy, and then he gets all just like loosey-goosey with his powers. I'm like, what are you? You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Why? This is the 1800s. They'll kill you. If you could have any superpower, what and why? Shape-shifting. Because then I could be an animal, I could be a bird, I could be a different person. Oh, yeah, that'd be bitchin'. Okay, the ultimate little shit has some questions. That's Lucas. Used to run a Jim Moriarty blog. Turned it into a fan blog, but Lucas is still pretty awesome. Here are the questions. Okay, thank you for the reminder, because I texted him on WhatsApp. Alright, so when's you and Rosie gonna coming to Norway? You know you want it, and I want to touch your face. When I'm able to get her passport. No, really, I would love to go to Norway. I'm actually part Norwegian, so that would be really, really cool to me to go to like the land of some of my fathers. And what's your favorite thing about the Balth and Jim ship? Balth is allowed or able to be really. He's able to be like a fallen angel of Jim. His dark side can come out, and Jim's not fussed by it. Jim actually seems to really enjoy his dark side and his proclivity towards, torture and pain and, making people pay. He doesn't have to hold back that side of him, and he really does with everyone else. He really, really does with everyone else, except for maybe like Lucifer or Crowley, back when we had a Crowley. Because Crowley was like, oh, I love Angel. I love it. And Balth was just like, flesh, pass the scotch, won't you? So yeah, he doesn't have to hold back. He can be as dark as he needs to be, and Jim's not going to be bothered by it. Say one or two headcanons. Yes, for me. One or two headcanons. I assume you mean about the Balthiardi ship. The first one is that Balth is insanely jealous of Seb. Insanely jealous of Sebastian and threatens to kill the sniper on a daily basis. Like, hourly basis. Like, Jim will be like, I'm bored. And Balth will be like, we could kill your sniper. Wouldn't that be fun? And Jim's like, no, my tiger. And, like, there's a fight and then there's makeup sex. Second headcanon, Balth switched to Jim's brand of cigarettes because it was just easier to just steal one of Jim's than go out and buy his own pack one day. And he was like, I like it. I might as well. If I'm gonna buy some, might as well buy some that Jim will smoke too. P.S. I'm also not giving up before you marry me. It will happen one day whether you like it or not. That sounds vaguely like a threat. I don't know if you're aware of that. And also, look at what you started. Like, 3 people have proposed to me since then. Like, this is your fault. I blame you. People were like, oh shit, she's marriable. Yeah. And then they started proposing. It's all your fault. All your fault. No, it's okay. Pet your face. Pet your face. It's okay. Alright. Okay. Strawberry Syrup Tuesdays has like 5 billion questions, as usual. Thank you very much, Julie. Favorite kind of AU? Currently, I'm kind of in love with the arranged marriage AU and the human Balthazar AU that we have going on, because he is by we I mean myself and Winter Davenport, apologies. He is the most blasphemous hunter that has ever lived, and he swears a lot. And he's the kind of person who like wakes up in the morning and is just like, "Oh, I'm still alive. Oh, better get some coffee. Might as well find a spot that has really good French toast." He's French, but he's in America because he followed like a werewolf that had been like mutilating children in his village. And, like he finally tracked it down, and he was like, "America is a veritable hotbed. Oh, man could kill many things over here," and he just kind of stayed. So those are pretty fantastic. I wouldn't mind doing more like Human Hunter, Balthazar AU, and more arranged marriage, because that one just like cracks me because he hates it. He's like, "I can't stand this. I am trapped. I dislike it. I'm mad at my parents. This sucks." It's kind of adorable. Favorite flavor lollipop? I like the C's chocolate lollipops, and I really like the C's. They have like coffee flavored ones. I can't remember if it's cafe latte or cafe au lait, but either way, it's really good. Favorite seasonal tradition? Like mistletoe, cookies out for Santa, painting Easter eggs, etc. On the first day of fall, I bake a pie. That's my favorite tradition. I really like autumn and winter, so I mean, I gotta say, probably painting Easter eggs is actually really fun. Crunching leaves, baking cookies, the equinox. At some point in the autumn, I like to go stargazing, and that is definitely like a yearly tradition that I love. Favorite spot for meditation / relaxation? My bed. I don't have the time or the energy or the wherewithal to meditate during the day because I have a certain little munchkin. You will have breakfast in a minute, okay? I'm almost done. Promise. I know, I promise. Okay? Just a little bit. You sleepy still. I don't know why you're up so early. You were up late last night. She partied hard last night. She was up till like 10, talking to her babies in her bed. She had all of her stuffed animals out. She was talking. And usually bed. Bed is where I try to like meditate for a few minutes every night, but beyond that, like I don't really have the time. Preferred hiding spot as a child in the kitchen pantry because it's really easy to pop out and scare the crap out of people. It's fantastic, and you have access to food. A phrase you use to reassure yourself. Okay, so sober, it's like a champ. No matter what's going wrong with my day, like if I've dropped like 5,000 things, or like yesterday, just like everything went wrong. I forgot to bring a spoon for my soup at work. I forgot to bring the ranch dressing for my salad at work. I had to buy ranch dressing from the little cafeteria downstairs, and then it squirted all over my favorite black blazer. And I would just like look down at everything, and I was like a champ, and like laugh to myself and just keep going, because I have to reassure myself that all things considered, I've made a pretty fair shakes in my life. Like I'm gainfully employed. I have a full-time job. I'm not a major screw up. I mean, granted, I never finished my associate's degree, but I'm working on that and going back to school, attempting to get into classes. If not this semester, the next semester, certainly. I have a 5-year-old that's relatively well adjusted, and I pay all my own bills. Like, in the grand scheme of things, I could be doing so much worse. I've never been on welfare. I've maintained gainful employment status for quite some time, and when my ex, stopped paying child support, I was still able to pay the bills. So, I mean, TCB, taking care of business, like a champ. And when I am tipsy, because I have a hard time managing like my motor skills, it's I can do this, and it's like mental reassurance. And it's usually when I'm like trying stairs, I can do this. I can do this. Just like over and over again. That's how you can tell that I'm drunk. I start telling myself I can do stuff. You need to take my alcohol away. Okay. Animal you identify with. It's really tough. I've never actually thought about that. I don't know. Maybe a cat. I'll come be affectionate when I want something. No, I don't know. Yeah, maybe a cat. I spend a lot of time like alone and just like avoiding things. Hedgehog. I don't know. I have no idea. Question for viewers: what animal do I remind you of? Do you lucid dream? Yes, but only my recurring nightmares. It's really weird. It's only my recurring nightmares, and that's the only reason that I'm actually able to lucid dream them is because I recognize the pattern of the dream and realize that I've been there before. So I'm able to change the dream, but it's still a nightmare. Like, only in my recurring nightmares am I able to lucid dream. It sucks. And then I can't wake up either. It's terrible. Favorite ancient culture? Oh, that's really hard. On the one hand, I want to say the Vikings because I am part Norwegian, and that always seemed really cool to me. On the other hand, the Romans actually were what first got me interested in archaeology and what have you. Reading about the excavations at Pompeii and watching Indiana Jones and things like that really got me very, very interested in archaeology. Toss up between Rome and Viking culture, and I'm gonna go with Atlantis for the win. Yes. American or British spelling? Because I read so much British, so many British books, and watch so much British television, from time to time I will spell things British style, but generally speaking, my phone autocorrects for me, so it winds up American. Loose or bagged tea? Loose is better, but I use bagged most of the time at work because it's easier and it's less of a fuss. But I really feel like loose is better quality. Teacups or mugs? I don't own any teacups, which is depressing, but because I'd love to have teacups, and it's a very, very sad fact that I don't actually have. It's not depressing, it's distressing. It's very sad that I don't have a full proper tea set. A song that reminds you of the rain. Valse Sentimentale by Tchaikovsky. Sentimentale. Slaughter the pronunciation and things. Sorry. What smells remind you of safety? Leather and coffee. Coffee because my house always smells like coffee, so it smells like home. And leather because when I was a kid, we had a really old Bronco. I shouldn't say that because it was probably made in the same year that I was born. I don't remember if it was actually an 80s or a 70s Bronco. And an old Camaro. And they both have like the leather interior, like the really well broken in leather interior that smells like age and just safety. I don't care if that makes me sound like a Winchester. Like, these are things that I've always loved. What about danger? Unspecified fire scent. Yeah, smoke. So if I can't see like the small bonfire that it's coming from, I like have a mini freak out and like spin around searching the mountains in the area around my house for the wildfire because I live in California and we have those all the time. Ever been in an abandoned building? Oh, also alcohol. Like the lingering scent of alcohol freaks me out because there's just so many associations with it. Ever been in an abandoned building? Yeah, of course. God, I have like B&E is a way of life. I used to urban explore when I was younger. Um, Abandoned buildings, supposedly haunted locations, what have you. Uh, I don't now that I'm older because I simply don't have the time and I have a lot more to lose. Should I be caught in one of those places? Ever play with a Ouija board? Fuck no, I have not, because I am smart enough to realize that that opens like a portal to the netherverse, where in which all the nasty, bad, mean, terrible spirits inhabit, and you're basically opening an unspecified line of communications, and that's terrifying. No, don't do it. Favorite fairy tale? I don't really have a favorite. Um, is there one where the bad guy wins? That would be my favorite one. No, probably not. No, probably isn't. Beauty and the Beast, I think. It's like the original one with the crappy sisters and the father that abandoned her. Favorite shade of nail polish? Currently, it's very pale pink with gold flecks in it that sparkling with. Um, I have to leave all of it. What's your idea of adventure? Driving with no destination in mind. What's your idea of peace? Being alone in the wilderness where it's quiet. Do you prefer passive over aggressive signs of affection, or over active signs of affection? No, actually, I prefer active signs. You need to show me that you care. Favorite snack? Peanut butter banana sandwiches. Favorite meal? Steak, baked potatoes, salad, corn, and a really nice cup of milk. Do you ever go commando? God, no, it freaks me out. Favorite scene from a book? Fahrenheit 451, Guy Montag meets the other people that are on the run from the government, basically, and they introduce themselves by the books that they have memorized. I love it. Favorite Shakespearean play? Antony and Cleopatra, body worship on you or your partner. Freaks me out when people pay too much attention to me, so on my partner. Text or chat? I like texting if it's just going to be brief. I like chatting if it's going to be like a lengthy conversation. Favorite type of morning? I like to get up early and be productive. Making breakfast or eating it? Making. After making breakfast, I'm not in the mood to eat it. Will you marry me? You see what you did here, Lucas? You see this? This is your fault. Yes, dear, of course. Yes, that is the end of all of my questions. No, it's not, because I have questions from Samandriel, Angel of the Lord. Laura sent questions last week that we didn't have time to get to. She sent them after I got done with the video. First one is, who ate all the pies? Dean Winchester. First fandom you ever joined? Star Trek. Who let the dogs out? I believe it was Shakespeare who said, let's let the dogs roar. Favorite episode of Supernatural and why? French Mistake, because Balthazar. Actually, the first few episodes that were like a monster movie, loved them. Do you have any pets? I have a 5-year-old and an 18-year-old brother. Does that count? If not, do you want me? I would love to have a corn snake and a bunny. That would make me happy.
Did you say bunny?
I did say a bunny.
Hey, I wanted to get a bunny.
Yeah, we should get a bunny. Favorite time of year and why? I love autumn and winter because it makes me nostalgic. It makes me want to cuddle up. Does Balth have any habits that irritate Mun? Yeah, he hates himself. It's really fucking irritating. I've tried to break him of it. It's not working. Does Mun have any habits that irritate Balth? Apparently I have low self-worth and I'm awesome. Whatever. How would Balth react to the metaverse in the French mistake? He would laugh. He would laugh so hard because Seb is essentially him as a human. Like, come on, let's be serious here. He would die freaking laughing. He would be like, this is fantastic. I can't. This guy's awesome. He sleeps around. He climbs on things. He's inappropriate. I love it. How would Mun react to the Winchesters turning up at the door? Oh, I'd have a panic attack. I'm human. I swear you can do whatever test you need to. Let's just not kill me, Sam. If you could stand at the other end of the room away from me and not touch me, I don't want to be a main character. I don't know anything about anything. You guys just keep on trucking. I don't want to die today. And finally, do you feel like dancing? Not particularly. That concludes our questions. Thank you very, very much. I love you all. You guys are crazy. What are you doing here? Keep asking the questions. I'll keep doing the videos. There is a giveaway coming up. I just need to get on the ball. finish what I need to finish for it. Thank you. I love you. And a bientôt, mes amis.